1, 2, 3. How's it going, everyone? I'm Vince.
I'm Caleb.
And we are demoing the king of flat top acoustic guitars today. What are they, Caleb?
They are Gibson Custom Shop SJ-200s.
Yes, they are. They're wonderful guitars, but why are we doing this demo today?
Well, there's several reasons. I think the main reason is that when you're looking for an SJ-200, you are purchasing the most premium guitars that Gibson makes. And these are some of the most premium, coming at $7,000 a piece. But what's the difference? Why have two?
So let's get right into it. We each have our own SJ-200. I myself have the beautiful Western Classic.
And I've got the pre-war SJ-200.
Now, there's a lot of similarities between them, it looks like, but I think it's the differences between the guitars that really make them shine. So let's talk specs. Top, back, and sides. I've got a AAA spruce top with Indian rosewood back and sides.
And I've got a thermally aged Adirondack red spruce top with Indian rosewood back and sides.
Okay. We both have nitro cellulose finishes?
Correct.
All right. Yours looks a little different, though, for nitro.
Indeed. It's got the thin nitro VOS finish to really replicate that pre-war SJ-200.
Yeah. It kind of gives it that... It kind of gives it kind of like an aged look, kind of right from the get-go.
Definitely.
Just kind of like it's thinning out, it's hit its age. You can kind of see like almost like the bumps in the wood almost. It's really cool. I've got a bone nut and saddle.
I as well.
All right. I've got tusk bridge pins. Do you as well?
I do not. I've got some bone bridge pins.
Okay, so more bone on the pre-war. That's pretty cool. Ebony on the fingerboard.
Sure enough.
Yep, we both have mustache bridges. I've got the solid block inlay, and yours look really cool.
Yeah, I've got the crown block inlay.
Yeah, that's a really nice touch. Just kind of adds some elegance to it.
Yeah.
But I think, if you ask me, I've got you on the headstock because I've got that beautiful torch inlay.
Definitely.
With that. But well, we both kind of have the classic Gibson font, kind of the old cursive. They're kind of both different. Also, what I think is worth mentioning are the backs of the necks, wouldn't you? They do this beautiful flaming on the back of the neck for the classic and the pre-war. Call me crazy, I like the pre-war a little bit better just because that reminds me of the cowboy sunset cliche. That's just beautiful. This is definitely a gorgeous, gold to black transition. But man, both just exquisite guitars, to say the very least.
And then in terms of aesthetics, I think it's important to mention that this has the very standard SJ-200 pickguard, while the Western Classic more emphasizes the torch inlay for its classic look.
I think it's also worth mentioning that guitar uses hide glue as part of its construction, which is a pretty nice touch. So we could talk similarities and differences all day, what they're made of, the features on them. I think as far as guitar players, I think we can both agree that what really matters is this.
The sustain is incredible.
And that has some low end that's comparable to Barry White's voice. It's incredibly... The reason you buy an SJ-200 is for that low end, I think. Definitely. Aside from being king of the flat tops, you hit that first chord and you're captivated immediately. It is absolutely unlike any other acoustic guitar you'll play. Okay, you know what they are, you know why we're doing this. So let's just review them like good old guitar players. If you were going to choose between the two, which would you go with?
I think sound-wise, I'd have to go with the Western Classic.
Okay, if I'm going sound-wise, I think I would go with the pre-war. How about this? I'll trade you and we'll review what we prefer. Yeah?
Definitely.
Okay. All right, we've made the trade. Make your case for the Western Classic.
All right, so there's a few things that I think are really important sound-wise in this guitar. It is so very balanced. One of the great things about SJ-200s is that there's tons of low end, but the balance comes from where do you lose that high end. I think the pre-war loses some high end, but as you heard in Vince's solo, it just pops through the low end mix that I was going with the rhythm. Although I think the pre-war did play a bit better now, all guitars can be adjusted to your own personal preference, so I don't think playability is really a factor in here. Which guitar is better?
That's a fair point. But I guess we haven't done any adjustments to these guitars. How do you think that one played, just kind of without doing anything to it?
I would honestly say the action's a little high for my preference, but I love a super low action.
Okay. So, easily adjustable.
And what do you think of yours, Vince?
I think it's better. I think it's the better SJ-200. There are things I'd concede to the Western Classic for sure, but I think if I was buying one today, I would go with the pre-war. One, I think it looks better. This is the tried and true recipe of the SJ-200. I love how the thin VOS finish just kind of makes it look like it's almost bare wood. I like the classic pickguard. You know, you get random pops of blue, yellow, and white, which just kind of makes it stand out, and it's a very imposing guitar. You get the classic font. I'm okay with the crown inlay on the fretboard, and I think it's just the best sounding. When this guitar first came in, I was talking to Johnny, and I played a chord on it, and I started just laughing, and I just gave the guitar to him, and I just told him, hey, play one chord and tell me what you think. And he played an E major chord, and he started laughing. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what you need to look for when you're making an investment on a guitar of this caliber. You need to play one chord, and it should be able to move you. And this did immediately. Everything I give to this, it sends back to me in a wonderful voicing. For example, I'm going to do an E major chord to an A chord and back to an E, and just copy me. Yep. Lovely, right? Every time I play this guitar, I smile. It has a low end that is unmatched like any other. I think it tops the Western Classic. It just has a little bit more of that punch. And I think I would buy this specifically for that low end. Mm-hmm. What I would concede is when I'm soloing up here, it's not giving me as much projection on the single notes that I would have liked. It's missing something. And if you didn't know, when we first recorded the intro song that you listened to, I originally played the solo on this one, but we actually ended up trading because I wasn't able to get the projection I wanted when I was playing in the scale. That's kind of a small point for me, though, because I'm not buying this guitar to play a bunch of shredding solos on. I'm buying it to hear smooth, beautiful chords. And that's exactly what this guitar gives me. How about a sustain challenge? We'll just do a regular E major chord and see how long they sing. I'll go first.
All right. Good time, good time.
Yeah, beat that.
All right, I think we've established that these guitars are king of low end and power, but I think if you're gonna choose between the two, if you're gonna spend the $7,000, they both have sound differences. As a player, that might be important to you, but let us know which one's your favorite down in the comments. I'm Caleb.
I'm Vince.
We're from Haggerty's.
Thanks for watching.